Good evening, Mike Martin here with this first edition of Newsworld, coming to you live from our new home at Melbourne's Federation Square. Tonight we are bringing you extended coverage of the Hurricane Katrina disaster, which has devastated many of America's southern states, including the city of New Orleans. We will cross to our reporter in our Los Angeles bureau shortly, plus the VCE report, and we talk to students and teachers on all the preparations that needs to be undertaken in order to successfully achieve in the VCE. Plus, all of this week's footy results from the AFL finals, and we talk to Robert Rizzo, our resident weatherman, on all the latest weather information. This is Newsworld Australia, Thursday the 15th of September 2005. Good evening. First night, the devastation and destruction of Katrina. A health crisis is looming along America's southern Gulf Coast in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Amid reports that the death toll will climb into the tens of thousands, a combination of floating bodies, toxic water and humid conditions are also fueling concern. The shocked President George W. Bush flew over Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama today and later declared that the region will take years to recover. In New Orleans, the streets are swollen rivers, and for some, the only way out is by boat. Buses have begun to ferry out the 25,000 residents who sought shelter inside the New Orleans Superdome. They'll be taken to another stadium in Houston, Texas, which is over 500 kilometres away, as their city will be uninhabitable for the next 2 or 3 months. It's a dangerous place right now. 1,500 policemen have been redeployed to the city centre to control gangs, some of them armed, who are looting shops, and some normally law-abiding citizens are also turning to looting for desperation. There has been some grim news overnight from the Mayor of New Orleans, who has warned Americans that the death toll from Hurricane Katrina is likely to run into the thousands in his city alone. Between 50,000 and 100,000 people are still believed to be trapped inside the city, many without food or water, and most of the roads out of town remain submerged. In New Orleans, after Hurricane Katrina, life is no longer sustainable, and the survivors of the storm who are still in the city look upwards for any hope at all. The call has gone out to abandon New Orleans altogether, but there are still thousands there. Louise Mitchell joins us now live from our US Los Angeles bureau. Good afternoon, Louise.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Now, Louise, what relief so far has been given to the people of New Orleans?
Well, Mike, there has been no immediate relief to the poor people of New Orleans. However, we have been told that truckloads of water and supplies are on their way.
And I hear reports are coming in that a state of martial law has been declared and that soldiers have been given the order shoot to kill. Is that correct?
Yes, well, after being there the other day, the atmosphere was somewhat frightening, as you were not sure if gangs were going to shoot at you. I must say, I've never seen anything like this in an American city. Total anarchy.
And also, what has George Bush said when it comes to relief? How's he defended himself?
George Bush has defended himself by saying that it has been quite difficult to get support teams in there, yet he claims that people will be given relief in the coming days. Bush appeared somewhat embarrassed that something like this could happen in a country like the United States. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Louise. Stay safe. Louise Mitchell there reporting live in our US Los Angeles bureau. Stay with us, because after the break we'll have our first edition of the VCE Pit Stop. Welcome back. Now to something that is new to Newsworld, and that is the VCE Pit Stop. With only a handful of weeks left until the Year 12 students sit for their compulsory English exam on October 28th, there is still valuable time and preparation that needs to be completed in order to successfully achieve in the VCE. Here are some tips direct from the Victorian Curriculum and Assessment Authority on VCE success. Compile a list of dot points on the topics covered within your subjects this year. Doing this will help trigger your memory when studying for exams. If studying a maths or science unit, become extra familiar with your graphical calculator and its functions. And sitting down and doing practice exam papers from previous years is an excellent way to become familiar with the exam style question. And most importantly, although not related to schoolwork, is making sure you have a balanced diet, good rest and a good exercise regime, as falling ill during the VCE exam period could hinder one's progress. These 3 points, or 4 I should say, are quite noteworthy and should be taken down. Now, we are fortunate enough to be joined by Sally Green, who is the VCE Media Coordinator at Melbourne's Templestowe College. Good afternoon, Sally.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Now, Sally, could you elaborate to our viewers what your position is at Templestowe College and how you get your students to manage the ever so stressful VCE?
Well, I currently teach VCE Media, and students are put under quite a bit of pressure in VCE Media, so I try not to put too much pressure onto them because it is quite an intense year for them. And
do you believe that Year 12 these days has come more stressful than previous years?
I totally agree with that, Mike. The school assessed coursework is 50% of their overall mark, so that is quite a lot of work throughout the year, thinking about all the subjects that they do need to complete. But again, whatever the outcome might be, there are a lot of other ways other than the enter score.
Okay, unfortunately we're out of time, Sally. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you.
Not a problem, thank you.
Sally Green there at Melbourne's Templestowe College. And earlier today we took our cameras down to Templestowe College to talk to Year 12 students to see how they are coping with their Year 12. Take a look.
VCE is pretty good. It's hopefully going to get me a good job after we finish school. I've been coping with it alright, but I did have to drop a subject because I was struggling a little bit with it.
My thoughts on VCE for 2005, that it's gone very quickly. I can't believe there's 23 days left. It's been a long and hard road over these last 13 years of primary and secondary education. Will be sadly missed when I'm finished because of the social side of school.
It's been a good time overall. Last 6 years, had fun, met new people, new friends. It's going to be really sad to leave everybody in the year.
Quite interesting indeed. And now to a brief Newsworld sport update. And 4 teams are through in the AFL finals. Geelong, West Coast Eagles, St Kilda and the Kangaroos. All 4 teams defeated their losers in whitewash victories. And unfortunately we're unable to bring you the rest of the day's sports news due to the unfolding events in the United States. However, we will endeavour to bring you those tomorrow night. And coming up after the break, our weather expert Robert Rizzo is here with all the latest weather details, plus a foggy start to Melbourne. Stay with us. And welcome back. And Robert Rizzo is here with all of the latest weather details. Robert.
That's right, we've seen an amazing event this morning in Melbourne. We've had a huge blanket of fog over the city towers, and as you can see here from the city Eureka Tower, just the tops of it, so quite a thick blanket of people in the air would have seen an amazing sight this morning as they were coming into Melbourne. And this was caused by a deep low pressure system coming out from the Antarctic, and it just caused the temperatures to be so very cold. And what happened last night is as that cloud came through the rain, it cleared early morning and fog started to develop as the moisture was in the air, no heat. So it was a huge blanket of fog, looked fantastic, and I'm sure driving conditions would have been very hazardous. And yes, another phenomenon in Melbourne's changing weather. And we've got the satellite picture now, and now you can see there's a huge rocket of cloud up here. It's called a frontal cloud band within a low pressure system. And it's very cold there. It's coming from Antarctica way past Tasmania, and it's just ripped into Victoria overnight. Brought at least 30 millimetres of rain, maybe 60 millimetres up in the Yarra Valley ranges as well. And now we have a high reaching over to the, from the west, and it's going to bring fine weather, but cool weather once again for us for the weekend. Looking very good. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for that interesting weather report. That is all the time we have for tonight. Stay with us throughout the night for updates and all the latest on the Hurricane Katrina disaster in our late news tonight at 10:30. But that's the way it is this Thursday the 15th of September 2005. Enjoy your evening. Good night.